Hello, friends. It is a beautiful evening here in the Midwest. I'm down at the creek and it's the evening time. And I thought I would bring you along on my walk. How are you today? Today I just needed to get a lot of things done and then come out on my walk. And I'm really glad I waited because it's such a beautiful evening. I'm going to take you through the creek path in the woods as we walk along the creek side. And hopefully you'll hear a lot of more bird song. The birds seem to be returning. I've seen a lot of blue heron and hawks and active squirrels. So we'll see what we can either see or hear. It's a little windy and cold, but I'm committed to taking those daily walks outside and sharing with you. We'll come down here for a minute. It is such a wonderful habit to get into. And again, part of the reason that I share this with you is to hopefully inspire you to put your coat on, your hat, which I took off because sometimes it's a little weird when I can't hear as well with my hat on. So I took it off. And who cares if my ears get cold, right? Anyway, just so important to get outside, breathe the fresh air in nature wherever you are, whether it's a city sidewalk or a neighborhood pond, or like us, we live way out in the country in the rural Midwest, and I'm so blessed to be able to have all this land to roam around. I do have to drive far places, and I'm actually getting ready to be gone this weekend. My 17-year-old son, who's a senior in high school, is now into his club soccer season, and we're driving to Cincinnati, Ohio for a tournament. And I really love, it's just my son, Sam, and me, and I really love these tournament weekends. They can be pretty exhausting for mom, the driver, and we stay at a hotel with the team, have breakfast, lunch, dinner. But somehow between games and lunches and meals, I usually find some downtime and bring a couple books because he gets busy with his teammates and they watch film and they go watch the games of teams that they're going to play. And I really enjoy being with him, and also though get a little time out of the house, on the road, these little road trips that I know as he gets closer and closer to making that decision of where he's going to go away to college in the fall. And he's my youngest of 4, so that's going to be quite an adjustment. And so I've really loved our weekends together, these road trips, soccer tournaments, and wow, I don't know how you feel, but sometimes just 2 or 3 days away, staying in a hotel. I mean, it's nothing fancy, but you get breakfast, and it's a mom thing probably, but you just don't have to do everything in the household that I'm a mom that tends to do most things in the household. And as my husband, he works long hours, he commutes, and he's away a lot of the week. So he can come home on the weekend and relax, be home, hopefully do some home projects if the weather gets warmer. And he loves being outside among the trees as well, as much, if not more, than I do. It was both of our dream to move out here in the country so we could work hard, raise a family, and then spend so much time in nature when he's not working. Because when we did live in a neighborhood where all the houses were real close together, we would spend every weekend going to, packing up picnics and going to a state park and or any state parks or nature areas to hang out in the quiet nature. And we found a place a little distance from the city, but we don't have to do that anymore. We can just come home on the weekends and go right in our backyard and enjoy this. The ice and snow melted this afternoon. We had quite a bit of snow this morning. The sun came out, melted, and here we are. So pretty. I hope this picks up on camera. I really do love sharing it with you. So let me know if these walks, if you ever think of me when you go out on your walks, if this inspires you to go out at some park or place in nature, just breathe the fresh air, and again, get your heart pumping and your muscles moving. I just love it out here. That's pretty much all I had today to share. I'm still reading The Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins, and I'm going really slow and loving it so much. I'm also in March of my friend Corinne Cunningham's Path Through the Year, and she has a wonderful YouTube channel now called Hearthside Creations, and she just organized her tea cabinet, and it's really inspiring to me to see that, because I've been doing a lot of organizing this past week, going through so many piles of things that I have put into a back hall that we added on to our house about 14 years ago, a back hall, mudroom, and garage, because when we bought our fixer-upper farmhouse, it did not have a garage, and it needed new siding and new windows. The windows were wood and rotting, so we took on a massive project when the kids were all really little and we lived here. And then some of the stuff in the back hall, I just tended to put when the kids had school projects and papers and journals and pictures. I just would stack that back in the back hall, and I have been going through it this week, and I feel like I've made so much progress. I actually threw away 3 trash bags of just papers, and I asked the kids, I would show them, what do you want me to keep this? And I kept some wonderful things. Oh my gosh, you know how that goes when you start getting into projects and seeing kids' papers and their poetry. Oh my gosh, and their art. They didn't want me to keep it all, and so I kept the important stuff, and did toss a lot, and some really important things that I tossed. Some of my things that I'd written for funerals and things, but I felt like especially the big day this week that I was going through all these papers. Oh my gosh, I was going through and I didn't feel like I was alone. It was a very special day. It was all out on the kitchen table, pictures, letters, notebooks, and I was so close to my grandparents and other family members who have passed, and wow, in-laws. Both of my in-laws are passed on, and I was going through this and really honoring what I was looking at, and knowing I didn't need to keep it anymore. But I just felt like it was almost, I was being visited again by those loved ones. And I felt like it was okay to be able to turn the page and let go of things that I'd held on to. And what I have is my life and my memories with my loved ones, my grandparents and my in-laws. And that's what we have in our lives. We have the memories and the meaningful times. And no, sometimes we're not perfect. And I had my mother-in-law, she was extremely difficult with my husband and then in our relationship. But she's since passed on many, many years ago. And I found some really good things. I found a couple letters I had written her when my husband and I lived in Iowa when he was finishing his graduate school. And so when we got married, we didn't live in our hometown, which was so good. We moved a few states away while he finished, and then I worked a few jobs. And those letters that I wrote back home were so sweet. I was thinking of my younger self. I was really trying hard to establish a nice relationship with my mother-in-law and show gratitude for things. And I was just also just feeling good about my younger self and how I was naive and so sweet. Even though things were kind of tumultuous, I still gave it my all and wrote really nice letters, and then I do feel like I was not alone and was revisited, and it was a lot of good closure. And I guess that's part of going through things and letting go and letting yourself throw things away. That's part of life. We cannot keep everything. We can't hold on to everything. And you can hold on to it for a little while. And that's, I guess, what I've done. I knew there was going to be a time, and it's really coinciding with my youngest son, graduating from high school, knowing he's going to move away to college. My kids, they've told me many times that I do not need to hang on to everything, just keep a few things, like a bin for each of them, and they will love that. But wow, a new era of my life will begin next August when we take Sam to school, to college, and he's really starting to get excited about his next chapter. And it's something I've always dreamed of for him to, get through high school and find a place that he wants to continue his education. And he's decided, he didn't always know he wanted to go to college, but he thinks he wants to challenge himself and do that. So I will be really proud to have 4 kids go to college. my husband and I both did, and we have graduate degrees. I didn't necessarily use mine as much as I thought I was going to, but that's okay. I don't regret getting all that education. And you never know in life what you're going to use and what twists and turns that life takes. And I guess that's what I'm trying to teach my kids. You know, the value of a good education is never wasted, no matter what work you end up doing. And if you enjoy being a lifelong learner, and you don't even have to go to college, that's the thing. Especially with my youngest, who was born in 2007. You know, he sees online all the time that, oh, college isn't worth it, it's not worth the expense, and all the time. A lot of the young people hear that. And maybe it's not for some people. And we were going to let him decide. And anyway, these are just mom ramblings. And I hope this, if you're still here, oh my gosh, thank you so much for being here. And if something is obviously resonating, if you've got kids at home still, or your kids have flown and you went through this, I'm just feeling good about tackling some of the projects that I have really needed to tackle. And I'm going to continue. And I knew I was going to leave for the weekend. And I have a couple more. There's another tournament in St. Louis, Missouri coming up. And I'll drive Sam to that. But meanwhile, between that, I'm really trying to do that decluttering. And it feels so good. It's like after a day of decluttering, I really feel like a big weight is being lifted. And I also feel like I have more energy. And that's so great. Oh, there's some ducks that just took flight. Oh, well. I should probably wrap this up, but I hope you've enjoyed this gorgeous walk in March. Pretty soon, things will be getting nice and green, and spring will be here. The mushrooms will be popping up. Those are fun to look for. And all the wildflowers. Oh my gosh, that will be fun to take you along a wildflower walk. And I hope your heart is good and you've enjoyed this time. And I will see you very soon, my friend.